So as you're organizing your hierarchy of information in your outline for this video, we're going to cover 3 classes of drugs: hallucinogens, dissociative, anesthetics, and substances with mixed chemical properties. So hallucinogens include LSD, psilocybin, mescaline, and salvia. All of them do not produce addiction, but you can become dependent on them, particularly psychologically dependent. And use of these is not particularly common, although they have been, for example, mescaline and psilocybin have been used for thousands of years in religious ceremonies. And LSD is the drug that gained popularity in the 60s. And they don't produce the compulsive drug-seeking behavior that we see with some of the amphetamines and cocaine or heroin. But large doses are not typically fatal, although people have unwittingly committed suicide. It does impair judgment. So our second class here is dissociative anesthetics that produce dreamlike detachment. These are fairly dangerous drugs. PCP, ketamine or special K, highly dangerous and potentially addictive. PCP and ketamine are fairly similar and were developed for use in veterinary medicine. They produce a dreamlike detachment in humans and are clearly the most dangerous of the club drugs. They can cause cognitive and memory deficits in frequent users and increase with ongoing use. And delusions can persist even after a person has stopped using ketamine. Hostility and violent psychotic behavior are not uncommon as well. DXM, the active ingredient in many cough medicines, over-the-counter cough suppressants, has been used by as many as 5% of high school students to get high and can cause hyperthermia or high body temperature. And then we have that relatively new club drug, MDPV, which is marketed as bath salts, which is sort of an interesting phenomenon in and of itself. If you call something a bath product, then it's not subject to FDA regulations. So producers will just change the name and subtle properties about their product, market it differently as a bath salt when really it's a psychoactive drug, and in that way they can escape psychoactive medication. But in general, the people who are producing it and selling it know that has nothing to do with taking a bath. So, and you may have heard that bath salts are the ones that are so dangerous, where people have chewed the face off other human beings and other similar lapses in judgment. So our last category here is substances with mixed chemical properties, and nicotine is the first one. It is both a stimulant and a depressant, and it is the largest cause of preventable death in the United States. And the first cigarette of the day causes the greatest stimulant effect. 20% of all Americans and 1 in 3 smokers die of smoking, slowly, painfully, and expensively, as you all know. And 1 million people die annually in the United States of nicotine. Our second substance with mixed chemical properties is cannabis. That is marijuana, pot, and contains THC that has stimulant, depressant, and hallucinogenic effects. In the United States, the potency of marijuana that's available is not high enough to cause hallucinations, but it is technically a hallucinogenic. And synthetic marijuana is becoming increasingly popular and dangerous. It's made from a combination of herbs and chemicals and has resulted in federal efforts to ban the chemicals used in its manufacture.